You know, I appreciate directness in a person. I like to be direct in everyday life. There's no point in pussyfooting around and beating around the bush. If you've got something to say, you say it. And there's a lot of politicians out there that are guilty of the opposite. They just and ultimately they push the can down the road for somebody else. Not a good place to be, is it? Not a good place to be. Somebody needs to come along with the backbone. Somebody needs to come along with the fortitude and courage to say, you know what, you dodgy system, I've had enough of it. You're not a bit of me, and it's time we do something about it. Well, Rupert Lowe, I appreciate the directness. I appreciate the not beating around the bush and saying it exactly as it is. And he's got a very brutal message for anybody who thinks they're going to come here and take the piss. It's really very simple. You have a look at this. It reads, so this is a quote from Paul A. Saipula. Apologies if I've mispronounced your name, but there we are. I'm only English. What MP Rupert Lowe says here about immigration is what will save England. You're here illegally, you go. Don't come here illegally. If you want to come here, apply legally. And then we can decide whether you're going to add benefit to your society. And if we don't think you are, don't come here. So you know, stay at home. And if you don't agree with our culture and our laws and the way we live our lives and you don't speak our language, that's another big issue. By the way, come here, you've got to learn English. You've got to speak English, and our hospitals should be dealing in English. All our government departments should be dealing in English and English alone. It's not up to the taxpayer to be funding translation for people who don't speak English. Now we are an English-speaking country. You come here, you speak English, you live by our laws, and you effectively respect what we are. Otherwise, you go home. Can't put it any more direct than that, can you? And this is the actual clip.
You're here illegally. You go. Yeah. Don't come here illegally. Come, if you want to come here, apply legally, and then we can decide whether you're going to add benefit to our society. And if we don't think you are, don't come here. So, stay at home. And if you don't agree with our culture and our laws and the way we live our lives, and you don't speak our language, that's another big issue, by the way. Mm-hmm. Come here, you've got to learn English. You've got to speak English. And our hospitals should be dealing in English. All our government departments should be dealing in English and English alone. It's not up to the taxpayer to be funding translation for people who don't speak English. No. We are an English-speaking country. You come here, you speak English, you live by our laws, and you effectively respect what we are. Otherwise, go home.
You can't put it any more blunt or any more direct than that. You are here illegally, you go. You speak English. I remember years ago, I was 27, 28, so about 20 years ago, I went to South Africa, Cape Town to be precise, to a business conference. It's one of those jolly ups where they call it a business conference and business lasts about 2 hours and you're on the piss the rest of the time. It was one of those. Now, I remember having dinner one night in a restaurant with a load of people that I was there with. There was a Frenchman, a Spanishman, German. I think there was Sweden as well, something like that. But the point I'm trying to make, every single one of those people could all speak English. English is the international business language, the international language of trade all around the world. And a lot of them, to, my amazement, could speak at least 3 languages. Come to think of it, it was really quite incredible, and fluently so. I could speak a little bit of French, so I could understand what they were talking about. But apart from that, no, absolutely amazing. And when you get a situation where you move to another country, you really need to think about what goes on in that country and trying to at least make some kind of effort. It's like if I moved to Spain, I wouldn't move to Spain because they're turning as communist as we are. But just an example, if I moved to Spain, I try and improve my Spanish so I could get on. If I moved to France, I try. But a lot of people that come here just ain't making the effort and expecting us to change our country for them. And it takes direct words from a very direct speaking politician to say, hang on a minute, I had enough of this. This is what we're seeing here. And the amount of flack and the amount of, well, garbage that's being thrown his way, it's unbelievable. Now, there's certain other things that have to happen, in order for a lot of this to become a reality. And one of the things is we have to remove the influence of organizations such as the EU from our shores. And that's very much where the English side of things comes into it. I want to show you a couple of pictures here. This is the first one. Now, all of you should recognize this. This is the counties of England. You've got Norfolk, Suffolk, Essex, Greater London, Surrey, Hampshire, Berks, Bucks, Oxford. They're all there. The only one that seems to be missing is Middlesex. And you've got to wonder. Middlesex is actually vital to the operation of England, absolutely vital. And it's not there. You've got Greater London. This is roughly what England should look like. This is England under English control with the counties and the different shires. But what we have instead is this: regions of England. What they're doing for administrative purposes or administrative law purposes, they're carving England up into regions. And this is the 5 Presidents report from the European Union. Go and read it and you will see all of this in here. And this is what they are doing to England. And once they do this, they can effectively usurp and further subvert the laws that are in place to stop all the things happening, like Rupert's talking about. Scotland is already a region. They say it's got a parliament. It hasn't. It's got an assembly, right? Wales has already been regionalised. It's got an assembly. Northern Ireland has already been regionalised. It's got an assembly. Part of England that's been regionalised completely is London. It has an assembly. For now, we've lost London. We have. And all of this needs to be well and truly reversed before we can move down the line of doing what Rupert says we are able to do, really. And another thing to consider as well, you hear a lot about British constitution. Britain has an unwritten constitution. It's a load of bollocks. Absolute load of bollocks. Have a listen to this. They say Britain has an unwritten constitution. That's lazy thinking. We don't have an unwritten constitution. We have an English constitution, ancient, evolving, and partially codified across historic statutes and common law. Magna Carta, Petition of Rights, Bill of Rights 1689, Act of Settlement 1701, centuries of common law precedent. That isn't unwritten. That's constitutional continuity. The confusion comes from calling it British. The United Kingdom is a political union. The constitutional foundation are English in origin, designed in a common law jurisdiction long before the modern UK existed. England built the framework. Parliament operates within it. Courts interpret it. Ministers are bound by it. If people think we have no written constitutional anchors, they misunderstand our history. We don't lack a constitution. We've just forgotten what one is. Now, this is a lot of the problem with all of the politicians, all of the scholars, and all of the lawyers that want to try and do something to help fix our country. A lot of them, and it's not their fault. in a lot of cases because they've been taught wrong, don't realise what is actually there to protect us. And that constitution, by the way, protects Northern Ireland, it protects Wales, and by claim of right, it protects Scotland, and contains many things which would put a stop to all this nonsense. Very much like that. And it's time Restore Britain started thinking about it, started getting the proper advice from proper people who actually read the history books and know what's going on. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share my stuff, and I'll talk to you soon. Toodaloo.